Good day everybody, this is Dark Comet and welcome to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far. Welcome back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Today we're going to be exploring one of my favorite things in the game, and that is the Orlog dice game. It's a old ancient dice game from Viking times. It is quite fun and entertaining. I first started playing it and I didn't quite know what to do, and I'm sure if you guys are just playing the game yourself, you might want to have some helpful tips and a walkthrough of how this game is done. So that's what we're going to do here in this video. There are a number of Orlog players spread throughout each region of the game, both in Norway and in England itself. Each opponent you face in the game has their own special ability card, which is a God Favor card, which can be quite difficult at times depending upon how many God Favor cards you have to combat them, and of course luck in the game as well. Once you defeat the Orlog opponent, you get to take that special card and add it to your own group of cards, which is quite helpful to you. As you move forward, some of the cards have special abilities like increasing the number of attacks you have, decreasing some defenses that the other people have, etc. We'll go through those cards in a minute. So let's go ahead and walk through the rules of the game, the types of dice you'll be using, and how to combat the other people. We're even going to play a game of Orlog at the end, and we'll walk through how that might look for you. Whether you win or lose, this game is quite entertaining. I really love it. They're going to make a standalone game, from what I understand, of Orlog in the future, and I look forward to that. So let's get busy, guys, and check it out. Orlog is a game where two players duel by rolling dice and invoking God favors. The first player to reduce the health of the other opponent to 0 wins. Each round consists of 3 different phases. The first phase is called the roll phase. At the beginning of each round, you and your opponent take turns rolling dice. You can roll up to 3 different times. Between each roll, you can choose which dice you want to keep and which one you want to re-roll. Die faces have various effects such as attack, defense, or gaining other cards and tokens used to invoke God favors. The God favor phase is the second phase. In this phase, players may make a card offering to invoke a special God favor, depending on which ones you have, as I described earlier. God favors grant powerful blessings that can greatly affect the outcome of a round or even the game. Most God favors are invoked before the resolution phase, after both players choose, but some that specifically stated in their effect description are invoked after the resolution phase itself. And I'll go over the God favor tokens later on after we look at the different dice as we move forward. The third phase is called the resolution phase. The dice rolled by both players are resolved against each other's damage is dealt and or blocked, and God favor tokens are gained or stolen. Rounds are played until one player reduces the health of the other to 0. Both players start off the game with 15 health stones, which again have to be reduced to 0 in order to win. Let's go ahead and take a look at all the die now to see the different ones. There's 2 offensive ones, 2 defensive ones, a stealing one that looks like a hand, and a gaining a card one. We'll go through those each individually now. First, there is the arrow card, which takes away 1 damage. Then there is the axe card, which takes away 1 damage. And then the 2 defensive ones include a shield, which only blocks the arrows, and then the helmet, which only blocks the axe, and of course it also gives you another card back in return, which is a nice bonus. And then the next one is a steal card from the opponent, which looks like a hand. Okay, let's look at all the God favors. They're based on how many cards you have for each time you use the favor. Brunhild's Fury, you can multiply the axes by rounding up. Freya's Plenty, you roll additional dice based on how much you have in the round. Induin's Rejuvenation, you heal health after the resolution phase. Freyr's Gift, you add to the total of whichever die face is in the majority. Mimir's Wisdom is you gain a different card for each damage dealt to you this round, which can be very helpful. Bragi's Verve, you gain cards for each die that rolled a hand, which is a steal. Thor's Strike, you deal damage to your opponent after the resolution phase. That's one of my favorites. Scaldi's Hunt, to each arrow that you have a die, you roll another arrow, which is very good Frig's Sight, reroll any of your or your opponent's dice, which can be very helpful if you had a bad roll based on luck. Vidar's Might, you remove a helmet defense from your opponent based on how many cards you have. Baldur's Invulnerability, you add helmets or shields based on how many die you have out there, which can also be very helpful if they have a lot of attacks. Hell's Grip, each axe damage dealt to the opponent heals you. Odin's Sacrifice, after the resolution phase, sacrifice any number of your health tokens. Gain more cards per health token. Tyr's Pledge, sacrifice any number of your health tokens, destroy opponent's cards per health token sacrificed. Heimdall's Watch, heal health for each attack you block, which can be very helpful. Skuld's Claim, destroy opponent's cards for each die that you roll a arrow attack. Ulnar's Aim, your arrow attacks ignore the opponent's shield defenses. Var's Bond, each card spent by your opponent heals you. Tremir's Theft, reduce the effect level of a god favor invoked by the opponent this round. That can be very helpful at times. Loki's Trick, ban opponent's die for that round. That is really cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at the game now.
Orlog. There's a player in every port and city.
Orlog, a game of skill. Orlog. How about a game?
Let us play.
All right then. Let us begin.
Okay, that's going to play the opponent in Ravensthorpe in our home little town. So as you start from the very beginning, based on the number of god favors you have, you can choose which ones you want in your categories. You then roll the die, which can give you the advantage of being first in your moves, which is a huge advantage at times. You start off with 15 stones, like I said, for your health, and then you roll your dice. And you can choose to use any of them or none of them. It's up to you, but on the third, you get to only use all that are left if you haven't used them yet. I always go for stealing the opponent's cards as much as I can. I always use my hand cards when they become available. And sometimes I use my defense of a helmet or shield to start off with. I play a bit more conservatively in the beginning until I see how things go. So right now I have 5 different steel cards. So if they get a card, which they'll get 3 for their helmets, as you'll see. So they're going to strike me with a arrow, which will do 1 damage. The helmets are useless. I'll strike them because they don't have a shield. They're going to steal 2 from me, and I'm going to steal 5 cards back from me. So I have now the advantage because the cards are the most important thing you can have in this game, really. So I'm going to roll my dice. I'm going to use my steel card because I always, like I said, I always use my steel cards when I can. So they have a block of a shield and a steel card. So I'm going to use my steel card as well. If I were to use my arrow, it would be blocked by their shield, for instance, so I won't use one. Okay, that was my third roll, so I have to use whatever the dice roll was. So right now, I'm going to be blocked with my axe into their helmet. Their 2 shields are worthless because I don't have any arrows. Their arrows can be blocked into my shield. My shield is worthless because I don't have any. And then the stealing of the cards there, then the resolution phase. So that's the 3 phases. No god favors have been invoked yet. Look at that, guys. I got 4 more steel cards. That's going to be really helpful. And they got 2.
Not like this.
Okay, they got 3 back, so actually it's quite even there, almost. So they got 2 axes, and I don't have any helmets, so I can't block anything. But again, I got 5 different steel cards, so they can actually do 2 steals of my health for me. And I got quite a few cards here, and then I'm going to pick up another set of cards coming up in the future. So I think here I might want to use my Thor Strike ability, which is done at the God Favor stage in phase 2. And then they're going to take 2 away from me, and then they're going to take their 3 cards. I'll take my 5 back, and then it'll invoke my God Favor, which is to destroy 5 of their health stones. Now, if he actually stole my cards and I already invoked my God Favor, it would not activate for me, and that'd be kind of crazy. So just watch out for that. Again, I'm going to use my 2 steel cards and 2 defensive cards to combat anything. Now, I only have 1 shield up, so it only blocks 1 of their arrows. So in order for me to block the other one, I would have to get another shield. And I didn't, unfortunately, so here I'm going to be able to block their axe and 1 of their arrows. Unfortunately, he can get me there, the middle one there, you can see. It's going to come down and hit me and take away 1 of my health. I can steal 3 of his cards, and he can steal 1 back from me. I should have enough to invoke another 8 cards, which would then do 5 damage at the end if he doesn't steal too many, which he can't, because we can see he can only steal 1 card. So he takes away 1 of my health, I take away 3 of his cards. I now have 12, and then now I end up with 11 after he took 1 back, so I definitely have enough cards to invoke my 5 damage, which leaves him 4 against my 11 health stones.
This will do.
Okay, I think I'm going to play a little more aggressive here to kind of get rid of his 4 remaining health stones. If he rolls 4 helmets, then it'll combat mine, of course, but the likelihood of that is small. Okay, well, he's going to do some damage to me because I don't have any helmets to block his. So he can do 3 damage to me, but I can actually do 4 to him. And just to guarantee that, I'm going to possibly take the Thor Strike on the deal 2 damage. He's going to use his Thor Strike 2, but by the time my 4 axes hit him, I win the game, so that's pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough and some tips that I gave you so that you can go out and play the game of Orlog yourself. Let me know in the comments what you think of the game. Go out there, have some fun, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next Dark Comet adventure, guys. Okay guys, that'll be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that like button. It really helps out my channel a lot and shows me how much you appreciate the product I'm putting together for you. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think of the episodes so far and what you might want to see, or if you want me to highlight something you haven't seen so far. Really would appreciate to hear from you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I do other episodes of Assassin's Creed Valhalla and other things I do. Check out the description below if you want to see some of the other games I put together for you. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe out there, and we will see you on the next Dark Comet adventure.